Hello and welcome to another video on my channel. This is going to be the 5th part of my Cranoak series, and I think it's going to be the last video on Cranoaks, probably. I have no further ideas for now, but that might change. The first big announcement is that the tag has changed, so it's no longer site type equals Cranoak, it's now archaeological site Cranoak. So I've changed that on all the ones that I've already mapped, but this is how we're going to proceed from now on with this key archaeological site instead of site type, and that's for all the archaeological sites. That's not just for Cranoaks, just so you know, and that you can get used to it. We are going to go to Scotland in this video, and the reason is that we are going to map 2 Cranoaks that I found on Wikicommons, and there are quite a few images, photographs of Cranoaks in Scotland on Wikicommons, very few of the Cranoaks in Ireland. I think the reason is that a lot of the photographs were part of the photo competition that the Geograph held, that magazine. I think it's a magazine, I don't actually know. But that's what's given in a lot of the sources or in the descriptions of the photographs. So they asked people to go around and take pictures of their surroundings and of heritage sites. And there are quite a few in Ireland as well, but not as many as in the UK. And a lot of Cranoaks. So if you go to Wikicommons, so it's commons.wikimedia.org, they have lovely competitions every month, and they have annual competitions as well, and I've actually won a 3rd prize in one. And there's a search bar at the top right, and if you just type in Cranoak and hit enter, it'll give you all kinds of photographs. And I've used some of them as thumbnails for my previous videos because it's very difficult to come by photographs. And of course, they're all free to use. You just have to use the attribution. There are loads and loads and loads, and I have mapped quite a few in Scotland. So I'm just going to show you how many there are mapped now. So this is the overpass turbo I've created. You can use the wizard for that. And if I hit run, it will show all the sites that are tagged with archaeological site equals Cranoak. There might be more Cranoaks mapped, but just not in that way, because people who have mapped it in the past might not have heard about the new key or the new tagging scheme. So I'll just hit run. And there are now 245 polygons and 12 POIs. So the sum would be 257, so 256 Cranoaks, which is only about 10% of the total number that is known. We're getting there. But you can see quite a few in Scotland. And I think there's a belief among scholars that they actually started being built in Scotland, and that the idea traveled to Ireland somehow across the sea. I mean, they're used to the water and travel on water, I suppose. Quite a few in rivers as well in Scotland. But anyway, the first one, I'm not going to choose randomly here because the first ones that are shown, so 416 results, I've probably mapped already. I will go for a certain one that I have chosen because Scotland, just Gaelic language as well, and I can't pronounce it, but I have found one in a lake that I'm pretty sure I know how to pronounce. And I've noted down the file name, and if I just search for that, that is it. So it's in Whitefield Loch Cranoak. And this is what it looks like. You see, it looks a bit circular, and it's tree covered. And then if we go down here, we see we have a description in English: Whitefield Loch Cranoak Old Luce. A line of water plants is believed to mark the course of the now submerged track to the Cranoak, and we might be able to see that on the aerial imagery. And the picture was taken on the 21st of April 2010, and you see the source is geograph.org.uk. So I think that's this competition, and the author is Anne Cook. So that is the lady who took the picture. And then we have the camera location, which is useful because that makes it easier to find it on OpenStreetMap, and you can already see this little icon here. It will show you the location on OpenStreetMap, but I just want to point out when you go to here to structured data. Most people haven't done that when they uploaded the image. There is the possibility to put in Cranoak as items portrait in this file, which I have done for a lot of the ones in Scotland. And you could also, I suppose, try to add Whitefield Loch, because that is also portrait. Oh yeah, I forgot to say it's in Dumfries and Galloway. So this one is, I haven't checked the other one. So this just adds this, and then you have to click publish changes, and of course you have to be logged in to do that. I wasn't, because I didn't think I was going to make any changes. Let's try that. Oh, let's try that again. And publish changes, and that's it. And then the coordinates of the point of view, I think that is usually uploaded with the camera location, because the camera is where your point of view is. And then usually you don't get the location of the actual Cranach. Sometimes you do, not in this case. But we're just going to use this. So you can copy this location, even though it's not in the decimal system. This is the one we're going to next. And there is Whitefield Loch. And this must be the island here. So if we go in, I'll just close this. If we go in here into edit, of course you have to be logged in here as well. OpenStreetMap. So there is the island. It's mapped as natural wood because it's a wooded island, and place islet. And we'll just see, this is probably the best imagery we're going to get. Esri clarity. This looks very much the same. This is Bing. This looks terrible. This is the same grade of terrible. And Maxar is also not great. So we're just going to stick with Esri. Sometimes, because it is Scotland, you might get a bit of fog over the lake, so you might have to switch between the satellite images. You might not see anything on it, or maybe there's cloud cover or something like that. We never get that in Ireland, of course. I would say the photographer probably stood here when she took the picture, because that looks very much like her location. And maybe there's a car park, which of course I can't tell from here. I would suppose that maybe that's what it is, because I don't know. But that's not our concern. We're focusing on this now. So I've highlighted it. Do it again. And add our tags for the Cranach. So historic, archaeological site. And this still doesn't come up because it's very recent that the tag has been approved, or the key archeo. Well, I could just copy this, couldn't I? To make sure I don't misspell. And then Cranach comes up though. And it might in the next couple of days. By the time you watch this video, this might already work in the ID editor to type in arc, and then archaeological site is one of the options next to architecture. And yeah, very important what I wanted to show you. Usually when I map in Ireland, you've probably seen that I use the historic environment viewer to get the heritage number, the sites and monuments records number. And of course I can't do that for Scotland, because Scotland isn't Ireland. But they have a similar website, and it's called canmore.org.uk. And you find all the archaeological sites there, all the historic monuments, all the national monuments in Scotland there. And so when you click at the top at search, you can search the map. I wouldn't use that because that might be a copyrighted map. Don't do that. So if you type into the site name, if you type in the name of the lake, Whitefield Loch, wasn't it? Whitefield Loch, yes. Search sites, and then usually you get a whole list. Yeah, so you see you get, how many are there? 15 results, and they're not all Cranachs. There are quite a few apparently, so we'll have to find the right one. But you can filter out the Cranachs, and you do that here in filter under classification, and you see it has Causeway, Cranach, Hammerstone, and all kinds of interesting things. Very distracting. And you just click on Cranach, and that only gives you the 6 Cranachs. We still have to find out which one it is, of course. Just going to go with the first one and check if the location matches. Nope. That would have been too easy. Nope. But a lot of the lakes in Scotland have more than one crannoch. And sometimes there are even lakes where only, let's say it has 8 islands, that might be ours. It might have 8 islands on it, or islets. And you find that only 4 or 5 are recorded as crannochs. So it might be worth reporting more. I have reported 2 in Scotland. I haven't heard back from them, apart from saying of confirmation that, yes, you have reported it, we're working on it. But I haven't heard back. So I presume this is it. We might just go check a couple more. But this looks like our location. I'm gonna go with this one. So the island's name is actually Dorman's Island. I won't add that because I'm not sure. It's an Ordnance Survey map, so they probably have copyright on that. But we can use the ID, Canmore ID. It's usually, I think it's 5 digits. And then we go back to our OpenStreetMap window and add ref Canmore. And I have mapped, as I said, a couple, and I've also documented it on the wiki. And we just type that in. At some point, when you're using the map, that should link back to this entry. But that's still in the future. Source maybe Esri, Clarity, and Wikimedia. Oh yeah, I should probably add the Wikimedia file as well. So that's Wikimedia_commons. And I go here and copy this bit. It has to include the file :bit and paste that. That should be it. So it comes up here then under Wikimedia Commons page. I don't know if it has a Wikidata entry, probably not. I'm not going to look for it now. And then we can save that. Added crannoch, hashtag crannoch, Octothorpe. But in this case it is a hashtag. And I don't really have to add the sources again because they're with the feature that we've just added, and upload. And again, this doesn't change anything on the map because the problem of the island overwriting the historical site persists. But if I activate the data layer and click on the island, it gives you all the information now. And it links to the Wikimedia file. So that has worked. The other one I want to show you, it's a kind of a bit of a longer story about why I want to show you, is in Loch Ness, which you're probably all familiar with. And the reason is that if you watched the video about the crannoch in Mayo, the one with the red-haired maiden washing her hair, allegedly, when I was shooting that video, if you've watched it, you saw me discovering another possible crannoch. I have reported it. I haven't heard back from the Heritage, from the National Monument Service. But I went back into the schools collection yesterday to look for, I think I looked for the Orlar Lakes. Yeah, I think that's what they were called, weren't they? The lakes of Orlar. These 5 lakes that are mentioned in the story. And I wanted to see if there are any more mystical stuff happening that were reported. And there was. And it's the same guy, James Robinson, who saw the red-haired maiden on the crannoch that was already known. And another day, he was walking past and he saw this monster eel. You can look it up on Dukas. It's called the monster eel of Loch Rua, I think. So he saw this monster eel with the horse's head, which in Scotland is called a kelpie. I'm not quite sure what it's called here. And he saw it in the lake and it swam away from him, or it swam somewhere because I don't know where he was standing, but it was swimming towards the known crannoch, the Ruanese crannoch, or Ruanese Island as I've called it now. And you could see 3 bumps because it was diving, it was kind of swimming in the waters, but you could see 3 bumps. And that's really interesting, I think, because he in the Crannog that is not yet recorded. There are 3 things in the center of the enclosure, and I wonder if that's actually what he saw, that he saw these 3 remains of huts or whatever it was, if it was a really hot summer and there wasn't as much water in the lake. And the rest, I don't know, he imagined. I don't know why he kept seeing these things. But I found him in the census and I found his grave and everything. But that might be for another video. I don't know yet because it's not really to do with mapping. But anyway, so I thought, I wonder if there's a Crannog in Loch Ness. Because if there's a Crannog in Loch Rua, where he saw a Kelpie, and there's a Kelpie in Loch Ness, where there's a Kelpie in almost every lake in Scotland apparently. So I looked for Loch Ness Crannog, Loch Ness. Why can't I spell Crannog? And there is a picture on Wiki Commons, and it is on Cherry Island, so I'll click on that. So the island has a name, and it is on OpenStreetMap. So this is, long story, but we're gonna map this Crannog in Loch Ness. So this is here. This is Loch Ness. Plenty of space for kelpies. And the island is this one here, Cherry Island. So I haven't opened this in aerial view. I only tried to find the location, but this is it. So we're going in. See, this is some of the imagery in Scotland is really weird. It's black and white. I don't know why that is. See, this is terrible imagery. They're probably keeping this like that to keep the mystique alive about the Loch Ness monster. Jeez, that's really bad. That's kind of okay, Maxar. But I won't move it. I think there's some offset here. So this is the island anyway. And it has Wikidata even. This is for the island. I don't know if the Crannog has an extra one. But anyway, we're going to add the tags for the Crannog. You should be able to know by now. So historic, archaeological site. And then archaeological site Crannog. And let's find the Canmore number, or ref Canmore. So we're gonna search, where's the search? Up here. Loch Ness, maybe? And then sites. I thought there was a search within the sites. Crannog 2. And it's the one in Cherry Island, so I don't even have to open this. I can just get the Canmore ID here. And paste it. And then, of course, we want to add the image again. So Wikimedia Commons. And this link here. Sometimes you find even more than one image for a Crannog. And that should be it now. If there was a Wikidata entry for the Crannog, I don't really know how to map that. Then maybe we should check what it says there. Wikidata. Doesn't seem to have, it has a Wikipedia entry as well, shouldn't that? Yeah. Let's go with it even has a German Wikipedia entry. There. Loch Ness has a small island, Cherry Island, at the southwest end of the loch. It is an artificial island known as a Crannog, and it was likely constructed during the Iron Age. Will we add that while we're at it? Then I have to check against my cheat sheet. So there's my cheat sheet. So it's historic period, Iron Age. That's what we're going to use. Historic period Iron Age. The island was originally 160 feet, 49 meters by 168 feet, 51 meters across, but is now smaller as the water level was raised during the construction of the Caledonian Canal in the early 19th century. There was formerly a second natural island nearby named Dog Island, but it was submerged when the water level rose. A castle stood on Cherry Island during the 15th century. This was constructed of stone and oak wood and was likely used as a fortified refuge. It has been suggested that Elach Muir may have been a hunting lodge and so on. Interesting. They don't have the luxury of the British War Office map in Scotland, unfortunately, so we can't even see if the castle is on the map. It should be on canmore.org.uk though. I won't go in that now. So that's that Crannoge map, and we'll save that. Added Crannoge source wiki media Maxar upload. Again, it doesn't change anything on the map, but the data is there. And if I go back to my Overpass Turbo query and move myself out of the way, I'll run this again, and then it should be 247 ways then, and 247 polygons. Well, the Loch Ness one isn't there yet. But in the Loch Ness, in the Cherry Island case, it would maybe make more sense to map the island and the Crannoge separately, because then we won't get into trouble with the Wikidata that you don't know, is it referring to the island or to the Crannoge? Could have done that, I suppose. While we're waiting, I might just add Crannoge here. And Cherry Island, which should have one because we've seen the Wikidata entry in the OpenStreetMap thing. What you can also do, it might not let me do that because sometimes when you add something in structured data and won't let you do anything in the file information, I'll just try. I've added a lot of those images to the category for Crannoges in Scotland as well. And if they're in Dumfries and Galloway, that has its own category. It has the Crannoges in Dumfries and Galloway category. No, as I said, sometimes it won't let me do that. Let's run this again. Yeah, so now it's 247. So we're making progress. And that's all I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed this little series. If you have any more ideas, suggestions, questions, please put them in the comments and I'll try to get to it. And otherwise I have videos planned for the next 2 weeks that have nothing to do with Crannoges. And then I have to think about what to do next. But I think I'm going to be busy until the end of the year anyway. And I hope I'll see you again, or you'll watch me again anyway. And I wish you a Merry Christmas if I don't see you before that, or you don't see me before that. And if it's next year, then there'll be another Christmas. And I wish you happy mapping, and I'll see you soon. Slán.